Welcome back to Hans and Groot, everyone. I'm Hans, this is Groot. Hopefully you saw our unboxing video. That was our first video. This is going to be our first real video. We're going to do a comprehensive review today of the new Ruger SFAR in 6.5 Creedmoor, which we're pretty excited about. I'm Hans, this is Groot, and later we'll show behind the camera is Peanut. Those are our trail names, actually. Hans and Groot comes from Hansel and Gretel being lost in the woods, which is pretty common for us because Groot's a backpacking dog and a gun range dog. He's kind of the mascot at the local range. Peanut is sometimes my backpacking buddy, so she's going to help make the video here, and she's also going to be our recoil tester today. So I hope you enjoy the video. This is going to be our first one. We're going to try to make it the highest quality we can. So quick background, I grew up shooting and doing outdoor sports, hunting with my dad. Went off to the military. I served as a Navy corpsman with the United States Marine Corps for 4 years. After that, it was college, career, raise kids, and now the kids are getting older. Got a little more time for hobbies like shooting and doing puppy training. Like a lot of YouTubers that do gun reviews, I'm no major expert. I don't shoot any major competitions. I love shooting. It's been something that I'm passionate about as a recreational activity. It's a hobby. I'm into ballistics, I'm into cool firearms. I got some neat things, so we're gonna share it. Before we get in too far, I just want to remind you, there's a lot of work. We're trying to do our best to make a high quality video with a good review. So if you could, please like and subscribe now. Let's talk about what ammunition we're gonna shoot today. So here we have a standard 6.5 Creedmoor round. This is the Winchester Deer Season XP 125 grain. I love these. This is what I hunt with. Talk about instant drop. These things have just gigantic ballistic tip. You can see that basically sits on top of a massive hollow point that'll expand. They penetrate all through the deer. This year I took a large doe and she dropped right where she stood. And then here you have a 5.56 round. It's at like 223. And you can see the massive difference in firepower between the two. That's what makes the AR-10 such a cool platform. Today, besides the Deer Season XP 125 grain, they're rated at 2850 feet per second at the muzzle. It's 2250 foot-pounds. I got the Holy Grail here. This is the Precision Hunter ELDX from Hornady. These are a little pricey. Don't have a lot to shoot, but probably the best round on the market. 2700 feet per second for a 143 grain round, and these are scooting along at 2,700 feet per second. Those are both superb, probably for long range shooting. Your Precision Hunter by Hornady is probably gonna be your best bet at 143 grain. You're gonna have that sky high ballistic coefficient over 0.6. But for regular hunting, those Deer Season, they hit hard. And then we'll throw in some of the Federal Fusions. These are 140 grain. They advertise 2,725 feet per second at the muzzle and 2,300 foot-pounds of energy. I haven't shot many of these, but we'll throw them over the chrono with the other rounds and see how they compare from two different rifles. And we'll throw a couple things over the chrono with the 5.56 just because we're doing it anyway. Some people will say, why do you need an AR-10? Well, because they're awesome. This is America. And most importantly, we need these high-powered semi-automatic weapons for today's super animals, you know, like the electric eel, the flying squirrel. Kind of a feature-packed rifle for the money. One of the reasons I wanted to wait on this, I've been dying to have something like this for many years, is because AR-10s are cool rounds. It's, you know, you're gonna have a full AR-10 size caliber like 6.5 or 308 compared to 5.56. You got a much more powerful rifle. If you buy a commercial AR-10 anywhere, you're talking about almost a 10-pound rifle. Up until recently, companies like POF and 2A Armament had them down at 7 pounds, but you're talking about $3,000. And when Ruger came out with the SFAR, you had a gun under $1,000 that was unbelievably light. And being a Ruger fan for a long time for a good reason, these things are accurate, they're reliable, very robust, well-built firearms. I've had their revolvers, I have their revolvers, bolt-action guns, AR-15, and having shot all different makes and models out there, Ruger's, in most cases, built some of the best firearms that I have you ever used. So let's talk about the rifle specifics. First of all, it's light as can be. Even I just threw a little Magpul bipod on here. It's got a full Picatinny rail and M-lock 3 positions. So you can throw on whatever accessories you want. Big boomer muzzle brake up here, which we're going to play with. We'll fire this with no brake, with the brake, and partially a little review of the Silencer Co. 46M. This is a hybrid can. You can shoot basically anything but 22 out of it. I put the 30 millimeter or the 308 cap on there. I have an extension if we wanted to make it longer and a little quieter, but this works pretty good and it's practical. This is what I hunt with. Incredible can, we'll get to see that later. So that's the front end. If you come in here, we have an adjustable gas block, which goes from, way you can see there, 3, 2, 1, and 0. We'll see later there's a little wrench in the grip that fits right on in here to the gas block and turn it to position 1, 2, 3, or 0. 0 is no gas, so no gas will run through here, so when you fire, nothing's gonna cycle the action. It's gonna basically be like a bolt action that you're gonna have to manually cycle. Position 1 is what we'll use with our suppressor. It's minimal gas, just enough because there's so much back pressure with a can. Cans are hard on your gun. My AR-15 gets incredibly dirty and you have gas pouring in your eye a little bit with the can on it. This is great because it's adjustable. 2 is generally what you use for most commercial ammunition, and apparently if the gun gets a little carbon and gets dirty and it starts having trouble cycle, you can crank it all the way up to 3. In the manual they recommend you start out with 3 and move your way down. You want to use the lowest setting that reliably cycles the firearm. Basically standard mil-spec like AR-15 components. The lower for the most part is, you know, your mag release, bolt release, charging handle, the trigger, grip, stock. This is all just standard AR-15 parts on an AR-10, which makes this really cool. I think even the handguard. The big difference is this massive mag well for this massive 20-round mag. So there we go. I just threw a little Vortex 1-8 on there. I love the Vortex products. They're excellent. I've never had a problem with them except once when the scope got damaged in shipping. Vortex, they either sent me a brand new one or fixed it real quick. Great product, so that's why I just threw that on there for now. Eventually I'm going to put a 1 to 10, I think Sig Sauer on there. We'll maybe even review that too. Pretty well packed with features for an AR-10 at that weight. It seems like a good value. We're going to find out when we take it out and shoot it. When we head out to the range, we'll shoot everything with no muzzle device, with the brakes on, and with the can. So this is the suppressor that I have. This is kind of going to be a little bit of a review of the Silencer Co. 46M. This is a modular suppressor. You can add this extra piece on here, just take the end cap off, throw it on there. I have 2 end caps for this guy, one at 46 caliber and then one at 30 caliber, so you can almost shoot anything out of here. The only thing I don't shoot out of this is 22. I have a separate can, the switchback Silencer Co. for 22. Although I have the modular extension to make this a little quieter, it's pretty good short. It's pretty much all I use. It's a lot more maneuverable. It's extremely light and quiet just as it is. So if you're on a budget, and you're gonna buy one can to do it all, this will kind of be the guy, pistol, rifle, whatever, easily adapts to different things. So I bought a direct thread, which I think is easiest. It's the lightest way to do it. Just thread it right on there. I have an adapter. This is 1/2 by 28. It'll take it up to what this is, 5/8 by 24 threads, and I can throw it on that or anything else I want. I have a couple of these adapters, so I can shoot everything that I have. What we'll compare it to today, here we have our AR-10, and here we have our AR-15, also a Ruger product, which was part of the reason I wanted to get this SFAR, because I have loved shooting my 5.56 Ruger NPR. This is like the high-end version of the Ruger AR-15. Again, kind of feature-packed. It's got a nice brake on it. It doesn't have an adjustable gas block, which I wish it did. I could probably change that one of these days. And again, super light. Barely lighter than the AR-10 though, and it's been extremely accurate, extremely reliable. I've never had a single misfire shooting all different kind of ammunition. Real quick to take notice, these are both 20-round mags, so you can see the comparison. That's 20 rounds in a 5.56, and this is 20 rounds of 6.5 or 308. When we take it to the range, we'll fire Big Betty here first. we'll fire this second. I was going to switch this scope over to here. I'm going to probably order a different scope for this guy. And then we'll compare it to another 6.5 Creedmoor, the Ruger American Predator, with a 22-inch barrel. So this guy's got a 20-inch barrel. AR-15's got 18. This is 22. We'll get to see a little bit how much of a difference that extra barrel length matters, and we'll get to see what kind of accuracy difference we have. This guy shoots about half MOA. I used to have a Ruger precision rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor. I was so excited. I was probably second or third time I was at the range shooting these tight little groups. Wonderful gun. And the guy next to me had one of these, and he shot the same size groups I did. And I thought, well, I kind of want to hunt with my 6.5 Creedmoor. So I took it, sold it, bought one of these. I was real happy when I took it to the range, and it shot just as well. And again, nice lightweight gun. I think these were about 7 pounds too. I put a big old Bushnell 2.5 to 15 power scope on here. That's great for shooting long range. It's probably not really ideal for hunting. In Pennsylvania, you almost never turn your scope up past its lowest setting because almost everything ends up being close range. I always think I'm gonna take some 500-yard shot and something pops up 15 yards away most of the time. So actually down the road, I'm probably gonna get a long range, like a 7mm PRC or something, put this on there. And I'm gonna put another 1 to 10 or 1 to 8 power on here for hunting because it's lighter, more maneuverable. So that's what we'll compare it to. We'll see how it compares to a bolt gun that I know is accurate. We'll compare it, to the 5.56. I know the Rugers are good, so hopefully the video proves that. We'll shoot them with can, with the brakes, and also with nothing. We got a chronograph from my buddy Tony, and we'll get to compare the ballistics on all these and accuracy with the brake, with the can, or with no device on the end. And we'll do a cheap little recoil test. We're going to put Peanut here behind the gun, and Peanut is going to be our recoil demonstrator. She's about 100 pounds, 5 foot, and you'll be able to see how the guns move her, and that'll be our cheap recoil test. As you probably know, there's almost no recoil on your 5.56, and 6.5 Creedmoor is pretty darn low recoil. This with no brake, and it's a pretty light gun. It's barely noticeable. I can spot my shots. I'm going to expect this guy's going to be about the same.
Hey, it's Peanut. I am the daughter of Hans and the sister of Groot, and I am going to be helping with the recoil test with this wimpy little rifle.
Groot, you want to go shooting? That's a quick tabletop review of what we're going to do. Let's go play guns.